Today we will talk about Donald Trump's preparations for the next debate in Atlanta, covering everything from his criticisms of his opponents to his unique preparation strategies. Let's explore everything he said at his recent public rallies, his interactions with the general public, and even some controversial statements. But first, if you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Trump is clearly focused on Thursday's debate in Atlanta. During a rally at Temple University, he didn't miss the chance to jab at Joe Biden for isolating himself at Camp David to prepare, insinuating that the president might resort to illicit substances to enhance his performance. Furthermore, he strongly criticized the performance of the CNN debate moderators, even calling one of them completely fake, which drew boos from the audience. Amid criticism, Trump also mentioned the criminal trial in the city of Manhattan, in which he was convicted on approximately 34 counts of falsifying business records. He complained that the imposed order of silence could indeed prevent him from answering some questions from the debate moderators. One of the most interesting parts was when Trump asked the audience for suggestions on how he should approach Biden in the debate. Be aggressive and rude, or perhaps indeed adopt another calmer stance and let Biden speak? The audience's reaction clearly indicated a preference for the first option, something that Trump seemed to take very seriously. The former president indeed also conveyed surprise at the audience's very great enthusiasm for the debate, raising his hands in astonishment when the crowd truly roared in response to his question about whether they really planned to watch the entire event. Trump's preparation for the debate has been quite peculiar in a rather unique manner. While Biden surrounds himself with advisors and consultants at Camp David, Trump is actively in full campaign mode, attending various events and discussing policies with senators and other experts. Last Saturday, on the previous weekend, he delivered a speech to conservative Christians in the capital city of Washington, D.C., before flying to Philadelphia for a rally. In Philadelphia, a predominantly Democratic city, Trump tried to attract traditionally Democratic voters, especially among Black and Hispanic communities. He spoke at great length about crime and violence, painting Philadelphia as a notably dangerous place that would need federal help if he were elected, and about the economy, linking immigration issues and the ongoing situation at the southern border. Trump also reiterated, in fact, a controversial statement made earlier this week about the idea of a UFC-style migrant fighting league, a suggestion he reportedly discussed with Donald White, president of the UFC, in a statement. Despite all these several various issues, Trump always returned to the debate topic. He suggested that, in a public statement, Biden might allegedly use substances in order to enhance his performance, indirectly repeating the claim that the current president had allegedly already used cocaine in the past. Thursday's debate in Atlanta indeed promises to be a very crucial moment for both candidates. Trump and Biden, each with their own advantages and disadvantages, indeed have a lot at stake. The debate will be an opportunity for voters to see how each handles criticism and tough questions, but it will also highlight the secondary weaknesses of both, which could be decisive for undecided voters. For Biden, a notable weakness is his foreign policy. Since taking office, the condition of the world order has unfortunately deteriorated. There was no Russian invasion of Ukraine during the Trump administration, nor were there brutal conflicts in the Holy Land, and the anti-American powers were less aligned. The Biden administration argues that he indeed inherited very extremely difficult situations and managed them better than Trump would have. However, the nostalgia for the geopolitical stability of the Trump era is indeed truly understandable for many, many voters. Biden also faces significant criticism over the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan and the way he has handled the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. His supporters argue that he is a defender of the liberal international order, but this view makes it indeed difficult for the Democrats to acknowledge the seemingly apparent stability during the Trump administration. The contrast between the administrations suggests that Biden's foreign policy decisions can only be defended with warnings about the risks of a second Trump term. And the question is, what risks if the world was truly in order with Donald Trump in power? On the other hand, Trump's crucial weakness lies in his economic promises, especially his significant commitment to a 10% tariff on all imported goods. In 2016, his protectionism undoubtedly marked a departure from the Tea Party's libertarianism, but in the current context, with inflation still high, the promise of a comprehensive tariff could heavily burden a middle class already affected by rising prices. The 10% tariff could be seen as a direct cost increase for consumers, something that could be politically exploited by the Democrats, potentially in the long run. Furthermore, the combination of high tariffs with the promise to maintain or deepen corporate tax cuts presents an easy target for the Democrats, who can accuse Trump of benefiting the rich at the expense of the middle class. Although Biden might try to use this strategy, it is uncertain if he will be able to do so effectively and potentially without reminding voters of his own inflationary policies. Both candidates have their main primary weaknesses that will very inevitably certainly dominate the secondary debates. For Biden, it is the perception of weakness in foreign policy and the difficulty of distancing himself from the consequences of his decisions. For Trump, it is indeed the very complexity of his economic policies and the risk of potentially being perceived as benefiting the rich. Thus, Thursday's debate will indeed be a trial by fire for both, significantly. Biden will need to defend his term in office and demonstrate himself as the best choice for the future, while Trump will try to convince voters that he deserves a second chance despite past controversies and criticisms of his policies, his administration, and his leadership. And if I may offer a personal opinion, I believe that Donald Trump is not only the favorite in this election because he was already a very strong name, but undoubtedly so. He has become a favorite name for these elections because the Biden administration leaves much to be desired. Now, I want to know your opinion in the comments.